Hey y'all, Simply It's Logical here, and welcome back to the channel. But either way, thank you for joining me for today's video where we're going to be going over the entire dev diary that we just got released, I think last week sometime. But we're just going to start at the top and go all the way through it, kind of like how we did with the last dev diary that we went over. To start off, it says, this month we released our trailer for update 14, showing off a variety of baby animals coming to the game. This update will be arriving April 24th with the public testing branch version coming to Steam on April 2nd. That means if you're watching this video right now, you have access or you have the chance to be able to go and play the update before it actually comes out. I'm sure you can find it somewhere on their website, or you can get it through their Discord. So I will try to leave a link to their Discord down below. But anyways, enough about that. I want to play you the trailer that we got just a few days ago. Okay, so that was the trailer. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed it a lot. I still have yet to play the update because, as some of you may know, I am currently on vacation for the next couple of months. And with that being said, I have scheduled content or videos for till the end of March. So I haven't played the update yet, but I do intend to try and go in and add some cinematics of the baby animals in the videos that I have already scheduled. So I'll just go in, unschedule them, add in the baby cinematics, and reschedule them. It won't be that big of a deal. But anyways, after the trailer, it moves on to say, as always, the PTB version is intended to catch various issues and get feedback on new features. Not all animals will have ontogeny, and the content itself will be in various stages of completion, lacking sounds, animations, skins, and other things. So, currently, if you are playing the pre release version, it's obviously not the full thing, but on April 24th, you will get the full package. And then it goes on to say it's officially 24 days until update 14 is properly released. However, for me, or if y'all are watching this the day this video comes out, it will only be 10 days. And yet, all of the features are effectively done. For the next few weeks, it's a matter of finishing the content, polishing, bug fixing, and making various tweaks to get this update exactly where we want it. While there's a list of changes we'll be working on until release, one of our favorites is an expansion to our animal thumbnails. with an aim to include renders for babies, sexual dimorphism, and genetic mutations. Especially with ontogeny, this is going to make it a lot easier to find specific animals. It also works for the animal holder, so you'll know if you have an albino before it's even in the park. In these photos, you can see all the different variations that it has in the enclosures and everything, and I'm really excited for that. And then it moves on to the baby animals for update 14. It's a new month, so it must be time to show off more baby animals. Today, we'll be sharing a bunch from our Discord, starting with the highly requested Spinosaurus. These tiny crocosaurs lack many of the features found in the adult versions, such as their tall crests and giant sails. Adorably, they even move around with their tails raised, demonstrating how much more nimble the young ones are. The sauropodlets of Camarasaurus grandis, however, are what you might expect, with proportionally shorter necks and softer features. These babies sport similar coloration to the adults, with banded faces and more abundant patterning. Next is the Ankylosaurus. It has to be one of our favorites. Despite their size, these grumbles are still miniature tanks, though that iconic tail club hasn't grown in yet. This is also one of the few species that we'd like to create a baby-specific sculpt for, removing various wrinkles and smoothing out their osteoderms. Keep an eye out for that in the future. And then the Plateosaurus gracilis is another favorite of ours. With the adult having clown-like face colors, we wanted to make the juveniles equally bold. Their cookie and cream patterning evokes a similar vibe to the adult while making us slightly hungry too. And finally, here's a look at our Cynotherium. Like their modern relatives, the horn on this baby rhino is yet to grow in, leaving a small protrusion on its head. And for this one in particular, I'm interested to see how, with the seamless aging, how the horn itself grows. Anyways, moving on to animal herding and social groups. That's right, animal herding is coming to update 14. You thought it was the next update, but we actually snuck it in for this one. So, how does this work? Animals that are adolescents or older will be eligible to join a social group. At random, the game will pick a group leader, allowing them to decide where the herd will go or what they'll do. For example, if the group leader decides to rest or drink, herd members will follow and attempt to do the same thing. This level of herd cohesion is something that we can vary per species, making animals like the Dryosaurs very tight-knit, while a pair of T-Rex are more independent from each other. To check if your animals are in a social group, we've added a new tab to the Animal Information panel. Here, you can find the group leader, group members, and see how many babies are associated within this group. And then it moves on to adoptive parenting. Rather than taking up slots in a social group, baby animals are instead adopted by adults, creating a more realistic herd structure. Within these new family units, babies will follow their parents until reaching adolescence, eventually disbanding to find a proper social group. While growing up, they'll do their best to stick near an adult. It's pretty cute watching them cluster up. In the case that babies cannot find an adult, they'll cleverly form their own little clutch, following a leader much like a regular social group. And then it moves on to animal awareness and socialization. Finally, we've implemented the first version of animal awareness. In this update, animals will be able to speak to one another, offering a call and response. They'll prioritize group members, but can occasionally call to other species or animals outside of their group. This behavior can only happen if the animals can see or hear each other. Animals will also use sad calls when they have unmet needs, or if their welfare is really low, let out an angry bellow. For our fearsome Lalinosaurus, it's more like an angry rat. And I'm going to play this little clip that they have for us as well that shows the different calls that we will be getting with this update. Okay, so I think that's very interesting that all of the calls sound so different from each other. But, anyways, it then goes on to say in the future, we want to introduce look targets or head IK. I don't know what that means, but it says that that would allow animals to look at each other, making it more obvious who they're talking to. We also want to reuse these sad and angry calls as a way for animals to react to each other. For example, get away from my herd could be one of the things that they say. And then it goes on to say all together now. You probably want to see all this in action. So we've prepared a short video showcasing a couple of species and different scenarios. In this video, you can also catch a glimpse of Animal Locomotion version 3, an update focused on smoothing out movement and adding a trot animation for every animal. It's still very much a work in progress, so we're hoping to improve it more by April 24th. And again, I'm going to let this play through, and then we'll move on to the next section of this dev diary. Okay, so that was a little clip that they gave us to kind of showcase everything that we just went over prior to this clip. And now moving on to update 15, the next update. So, since we managed to sneak herding into update 14, what's the plan for update 15? Well, while we can't get too specific just yet, our goal is to further enhance the animals with new behaviors and animations to make them even more lively. Notably, this includes expanding the social and herding behaviors to feature a more dynamic social hierarchy with things like threat displays. There's a lot that we can do, and we're excited to finally begin exploring this side of Prehistoric Kingdom. With that said, there's a new species on the horizon, and they're flocking this way. It's everyone's favorite chicken mimic, the Gallimimus. And here you can see the 3 different skin patterns that we will have for the Gallimimus. And it says, although the first ornithomimid in early access may have been the Dinochirus, Gallimimus has had an even longer history with Prehistoric Kingdom, namely being part of our first 2 demos ever. It's certainly been a while, but we're overjoyed to see the Gallimimus finally come home. And then it shows a little clip which I've added onto the screen it shows the 2015 demo galley and the 2017 demo galley. And then from there it moves on to Paleobotany. So let's take a look at even more paleobotany arriving with update 15. Below, you'll find the last few foliage species coming to the scrubland biome. That means they're about to completely finish the scrubland biome foliage. This includes a relative to the modern monkey puzzle tree, the Araucaria, I think is how you would pronounce it. I'm not sure. And I do want to really quickly point out that I am not going to pronounce any of these plants' names because I know I will butcher them. But you should be able to see it on the screen. When you combine all the scrubland plants together, you get a pretty cool environment. All that's missing is a stegosaurus hiding amongst the cycads. And with scrubland out of the way, our attention turns to a different type of land, the wetland. For this biome, we have a lot of plants that are intended to sit in shallow waters or on top of the water surface. And again, I am not going to say any of these names, but you can see them on the screen. In addition to the water-based plants above, we're also going to have giant horsetails. This plant is quite a bit larger than its modern counterpart that's currently in the game. Think somewhere between reeds and bamboo. This brings us to our final plant for today, and it's a peculiar one. It's not a palm nor a mangrove, but actually a fern. We especially love this one and hope you will too. And with the paleobotany now out of the way, it moves on to update 16, the next update, where we will be getting a new terrarium species. To close out this dev diary, we have a new terrarium species to share with you. Meet the adorable Simosuchus, a tiny crocodilian from the late Cretaceous. This armored pug is believed to have been herbivorous due to its short snout and unique teeth. However, we'd still suggest keeping your hands away from its mouth. They're quite nippy. But that's really all we have for the dev diary itself. It moves on to the community spotlight, but I'm not really going to go through that. But there is some pretty cool artwork that I do think you should check out. And with that being said, I am going to leave the link to this dev diary down in the description below so you can go check this out for yourself if you haven't checked it out yet. But anyways, I hope y'all are excited just as much as I am for update 14 to finally come out and even update 15. But anyways, that's really all I have for y'all this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, a subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what you thought was the most interesting thing in this dev diary, or what you were most excited for update 14, or even what you hope they bring in update 15 or 16. But anyways, I will talk to you on the next one. Bye guys.